Good morning. Morning. Hey, good morning. So I'm taking it back, y'all, this morning. Good morning. I'm taking it back to some of the things that I have been saying consistently. And I, like most of the people in the country, have allowed their faith to get shook. And that's really what this year was about for the United States. The United States has a seven of spades this year in Venus, I believe, and that is the card of faith. And when I saw that card, I was like, we're going to have some serious challenges to our faith. What happens when you have the seven of spades? I learned a lot from Blue Ivy. She's a seven of spades. And I watched how, I was watching a piece where they talked about her first show with her mom, and she somehow got in the comments about, her performance. And of course, it was harsh comments. And instead of giving up, she fought harder. She worked harder to get better at her craft and everything. And, and is inevitably rising victorious. And that's the lesson with the seven of spades. You don't give up, you just work harder. What do you work harder at? You work harder at your craft, you work harder at the things that you do, and you don't budge. And eventually, you will come out on top. So, and here we are, everybody's talking about the 100 days of Donald Trump. And now we're starting to see the effects of his bad policies. And this is the thing, even I let myself believe that a bunch of buffoons, simply because they had power, simply because they had money, would be victorious in implementing the plans that 90% of the people in this country would not be for all of those plans, believe it or not. Right? I allowed that. I knew one thing and one thing for certain, that Donald Trump is the three of diamonds, which is um, which is Pluto to the ten of clubs, and the ten of clubs is the card of the Republican Party. So I said this for a number of years: is that Donald Trump's purpose was to destroy, to transform the Republican Party, right? Gut it. And what would come out of the Republican Party is, guess what? Lots of other little political parties, to eventually we become a decentralized government, because there's no need to destroy the Democrats, because they've been too weak. No need. They had no power. The Democratic Party for the last part of the century has had no power. So what has happened within the Democratic Party is that there have been people within the Democratic Party that have been silently working on behalf of the Republican Party, because they know that the Republican Party is the party that really has the power. So they started adopting the ways of the Republican Party, like investing in stocks, all of that, because of course they have the prior knowledge to what's going on. So making money in the stock market, making money off of organizations paying them, lobbying, et cetera, right? So they've been making money just like the Republicans have been making money. But what you're watching is the further destruction now of that, the party who actually has power. And that's really what this is all about. They were never going to get away with all of these harebrained schemes that they had because despite the fact we don't have enough guardrails, we do have some. And the biggest guardrails is the people because the proof that, there's a statement that says the proof of the pudding is in the crust. There isn't but so far you can go, duping people into believing that this utopia for them was coming based off of these ideals. There wasn't but so far. And then we can also lean back to the age that we're in right now, which is the age of Aquarius. But why it's so chaotic is because Pluto is there right now. You know what I mean? So Pluto has to push all of the moving parts in order to get people to fight for themselves and fight for their independence and fight for the egalitarian rights of others. People had to be pushed. And this was the push. So you can pretty much guarantee that as time moves on, this whole plan, Project 2025 and everything else is going to start to, or it's already starting to self-destruct, but it's going to fade away because it simply does not work in this time. So does that mean that we're not going to have some periods of, it being uncomfortable and stuff like that? Oh, we're going to have plenty of discomfort. Plenty. You know what I mean? Yes, absolutely. We're going to have discomfort because the whole process is going to be uncomfortable. But is it going to go the way that they want it to go? Not if you don't let it. Not if you don't fight for yourselves and fight for what is yours. You know what I mean? And then our side, and I'm talking about people of color and Black folks and stuff like that, we have opportunities to now set up and to be, what do you say, co-creators in the process of creating this new America, because that is definitely coming. And we also now have to begin to fight for our legacies and the things that we have because we let the things that we have fade away. We don't protect the things that we have, or the things, and not protecting the things that we have prevent us from getting more. Point blank. Whatever it is that's established in our legacies, we need to keep it. And we need to not forget. The kids need to not forget because they never need to wind up in a situation that we've wound up in the past. That is the purpose of history. I'm a history buff. So, I just wanted to start out by saying that I know things look bleak, but don't believe the hype. All of those executive orders that he signed are just that, executive orders. They're not bills, they're not laws. He may have slid some things in, but there's been a lot of pushback on a lot of things. So whether you like it or not, you here in America, you're part of this big experiment. At this point, it's not where you came from, it's where you're going. You know what I mean? So that's why I don't fall too much in the, we're not from here, we're from here, we're this, I don't fall in none of that shit. You know who I am? I'm Aquarius Maximus, because that's who I got to state who I am. Legally, on paper, trademark wise, everything. That's who I am. I am not an organization. I may be members or may even create my own intellectual and professional organizations. But I'm not a fan of racial organizations, point blank, because all skin folk ain't kinfolk. That's what I believe in. How y'all doing? Good morning. Good morning. Now, where we can come together is where we've always come together, and that's on the institution of money. We can come together and build our own financial systems and our own money and transact with one another. We don't even have to be kumbaya. We don't have to be fam or family, because we contract and transact with people who are nothing like us. That has nothing to do with, you know, our quote unquote culture per se. So that's where we can come together on. Because if somebody walks up to you, you'd be like, oh, I don't support this country. But if somebody comes up to you and hands you a dollar bill, $100 bill, you go and take it. You probably take a dollar bill. So we need to start being real with ourselves. It's that simple. Stop lying to ourselves about what we think the problem is. The problem is not, and I repeat, not where you come from. The problem is establishing where you are going. That's it. Where are you going? Or ask these organizations, and I'm not even going to name no names, but all of them that they did this and they're that, because they're largely made up of people who have fractionalized families. They don't get along with their own blood family, so they go out there in the world and form another one. But ask them, I don't really care where you come from, but just tell me, where are you going? What is your plan to get there? That's it. Those are the only two questions you ever have to ask them. Not where you going and where you from, but where you from, but where are you going and how do you plan to get there? I want you to write that in your book. Write that. Write that down. Don't forget that. Don't forget it. If they have no plan to go anywhere and they have no plan to get there, then they're wasting your time. So people come to me on Guap, and I just wanted to kind of state this. I was kind of pissed off last week because people don't know where I'm coming from with Guap. They don't know the years I put in and on this. They don't know how I've slept with notebook papers, scribbling down things like inflation and what is this going to look like in the future, and working in the code, and how are we going to solve this problem in the code. And now I'm putting together a new white paper with more technical details, marrying the layer one and layer two. And most people don't even know that. But what they do is they come to me and they say that they want to help. They want to do this. And this is what I implore you. Whatever you want to do, do it. You don't have to come to me. You don't need my permission. This is not my chain. This is not my project. It's a project I founded. Right? This is yours. This is everybody's. So whatever you want to do, you can do it. You don't need my permission at all. And to be totally honest, when this is all said and done and when I finish my work, I will retire into obscurity. Yes, I will be another Satoshi Nakamoto. Where did she go? What is she doing? Disappearing. No podcasts, no TV interviews. Maybe I'll write a book, whatever, about my experience, but I haven't had a great experience. It's been a little bit traumatizing, actually. But does that mean I'm going to give up? No, because I'm going to do my job and I'm going to finish my job. But This has not been a happy job. It's going to be happier for me in the future when our kids and our grandkids have this and they're doing the right thing with it. But right now, it hasn't been a happy journey for me. And to be totally honest, I don't really want to talk to a lot of people. What has been a happy journey for me is cardiology. That's my happy space. I zone out and I turn into somebody totally different. My heart up for anybody doesn't matter because my heart for the truth is strong. You know what I mean? So, again, this is for people who come to me and they say they want to do things. If you have any questions, you can come to me and ask questions and I can answer your questions. But if you want to do something, do it. And you better do it fast because Guap is going somewhere. It's going to benefit you. But you got to have the faith in order to know it's going to benefit you. You got to feel it. If you don't feel it, don't do nothing. But that's just to let you know. Guap is not something I built for clout, because quite frankly, I'm a very introverted person. I understand that you got to get out there in order to put it out there. That's what I do with cardiology. I want all of y'all to have cardiology, so I can't just sit in the back and hide somewhere. You won't have the cardiology that I have to give. But I didn't do this for clout. Not at all. Clout ain't worth shit to me. You know what I mean? So don't feel threatened in what you want to do because you think I'm just trying to take all the shine into this and that. I don't want to shine. I don't. Why do you think I talk so matter of factly when I'm in a meeting or even when I'm here? I don't care about no shine. I'm just going to tell you my passion and why I did what I did and why I stick to those values. I don't shake on those values. My values are that the dollar is dying. My values are that we have an opportunity to create our own financial system and our own dollar and our own system of building worth and value within our community. That is my values. I didn't create Guap so that you can, quote unquote, make money. This is money. The money is already made. Now take this money and grow it. Grow it as a community. Grow it in the community. Start accepting it. Start spreading it around. Start giving it to your kids. Start giving your kids allowance with Guap. Teach them about our money. That's it. I didn't create this so that you can it can hopefully shoot up in value versus the dollar and then you switch it to the dollar so that you can buy things. No, let it accumulate in value so that you can buy things with Guap. Let it become more valuable. How does that happen? Easy. Some of you fools out there made Jordan sneakers valuable. There's so many things that you've made valuable. Why can you not make money valuable? You are the ones that dictate and set the value of things in this planet, and they follow you. And how do you do it? You do it by the word. You do it by your 7 of clubs. You do it by your truth, by your word, by spreading the word. And you assign, you add value, you create value out of the clear blue sky. And then everybody else wants what you have. There would be no social media without you. There would be no YouTube without you. There'd be no Instagram without you. So you create value. But yet, you got such a Jones complex that you want to study how they use the value that you created. You want to study that. That's you want to you're so enamored because you think that their ice is colder. They're ahead because they value your value that you don't value. And to be honest, like when this is all said and done, I don't want to talk to people who value everybody else's stuff. I don't. I have no, I can't even really look you in the eye. I can't. I can't sit here and smile and kiki with you. I can't. Now, if other people contact me, little known people who have little communities that are really, 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 really about this work, I'll come out of obscurity just to talk to you. And I promise, this is a promise that I make, that once Guap does what it does, you will not see my face. You will not hear my name if I can help it. Because that's how this has to be. This has to be yours. You have to forget about me. And don't worry, because people won't forget about me for my other stuff. They'll know who Aquarius Maximus is. She's the cardologer. So I'm good. I'm okay. Everybody wants their acknowledgement. I'll be acknowledged for what is really true to me, and that is deep transformative knowledge. I'll be acknowledged for that. I'll earn my wings. But you take this guap thing, you take this guap coin thing and make it your own. Because that's how it's supposed to be. That's how this works. I will request that they take down any interview with me. You could do that all over. I request so that I could be Satoshi Nakamoto. You don't know who made this. We made it. That's who made it. And this is not new. I affirm this every day. You ask my friends, you ask my family, my closest friends, what do I tell them? That when this is all said and done with Guap and it does what it has to do, don't call me, just forget me. Because I did my job and that's all I'm here to do. Good morning. No, nobody wants to relive the pain of creation like in their head. You just want to retire. Good morning. I know I jumped into Guap real quick, but I had to throw that in there because it was something that I was struggling with. And I want people to just know this. I said that if I have to meet with people, I'll let them know up front. I'm going to be gone when this thing does what it does. I can't help you do what you want to do for it, but if you can ask me questions, I may be able to give you some intellectual guidance or whatever. And you got all my support to go running with it. Take this. That's it. Thank you. Good morning. Morning, all. So this is going to be brief because I got a lot of work to do. I'm working on a really cool feature. So if you've gotten a report from me, a life report, a relationship report, even more, you'll be able to take it to my website and you'll be able to ask more questions about it. You'll be able to get a deeper understanding, some definitive, well, if it's a relationship, well, what is the likelihood of this? What is the likelihood of that? I have solved that problem and I'm implementing it. And I'm implementing these other apps. And I do want to implement a relationship app. So aside from all the stuff I got to do for Guapcoin, build out these apps and launching the new website and stuff like that. So I have a lot to do. Today I have mini readings available. If you want a mini reading, they're $99 because I'm always raising money. And you can hit me in my inbox on Instagram or you can hit me on Facebook and you can book one. You get one practically right away, same day. So I am working on that. I'm probably going to be having another newbie class because I haven't had one for a while. So I'm working out the details with that, maybe next week. So listen out on here and other places about that. So anyway, y'all, love y'all. Got to get back to work. Peace.